Welcome back. It is time for Building Rural Wealth, Milestone Financial with me, and we have the opportunity and privilege to visit with Denise Miller. Denise, how are you?
I am outstanding.
Nice to see you.
It's great to be here.
And we have with us Caleb Roebuck. Caleb, how are you today, Caleb?
I'm good.
Building Rural Wealth, Milestone Financial, difficult money conversations to have with your spouse. Well, this should be good.
Oh my gosh.
Denise.
You know, originally Dan was supposed to come today, but he had a prior commitment, I guess we would say. And it's funny that Caleb and I are talking about this together, but money conversations are hard, especially for married people. Mm-hmm. And part of that is you fear conflict. You don't want to create waves. You don't want the other spouse to get upset. And so everybody has kind of different financial backgrounds and different financial ideas. And one partner feels more knowledgeable usually, and the other one feels left out. And so it's common for partners to bring different financial styles to their marriage. Mm-hmm. And it's also common for some to be spenders, some to be savers, some to be cautious, some to be risk takers, and some to just, obviously hide what they don't want the other spouse to know. But some of the questions we like to talk to when we talk to couples are, what was your money situation like growing up? Because usually if you were raised in different kinds of backgrounds, different kinds of households, you have different money ideas and how to spend money and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And one of the other questions we like to ask is, do you remember a time where you felt proud about a financial decision that you made?
I feel like this might get deep tonight. Denise, I feel like this could be like a therapy session.
Dan didn't want to have his counseling session today. So, yeah.
It's so convenient he's not here. Okay.
But one partner, for one partner, spending money might just feel like enjoying life. Mm-hmm. And for the other partner, enjoying life means saving money. And, when the values collide, the tension builds. And that's when you start hearing those things. Oh my gosh, you're spending too much. You did what? You bought what? You went where? You spent how much? You never let me do anything.
Oh my.
I'm sure you've heard these words. Caleb, have you ever heard these words?
Yeah.
That can lead to some real issues.
Oh,
right?
It can lead to huge issues.
Resentment, and that can spill over into your relationship overall. So what do you do there?
Absolutely. Well, basically avoiding conversation about money doesn't make it any better.
It doesn't go away?
No, and it's not going to go away. And so you really have to sit down and you have to really, I don't want to say disengage, but you have to tamp those emotions down. And you have to rationally, which is hard. Yep. It's really hard. And I can tend to, I know you find this hard to believe, but I can tend to get a little emotional. No. And when you get a little emotional, it is hard. It is hard. So you have to tamp that down and try to have honest conversations with each other about money.
So let's talk about just, in order to do that, tamp those emotions down and have that conversation. Help me get started here, Caleb, with just a real practical, easy way to start that conversation.
Yeah, and it is hard. And, what you try to do is frame it as a teamwork, because at the end of the day, you guys are a team. It is a couple, but yeah, one of you might have more strengths than the other in certain areas, but try to, frame it as a teamwork, not as an interrogation. Because usually, to your point, is like, I don't have the stat in front of me, but, most marriages that end in divorce are, the number one reason is usually financial reasons, followed by all these other things. But a lot of times it is financial stress or financial reasons and stuff too. So it does spill over, and, maybe both of you aren't paying attention to finances, or one is, but you don't want that to feel like an interrogation. So, some helpful questions to start is, what are your priorities for money? What are your priorities? What are our priorities? And do they match up? how do you feel about debt? What's your comfort level? Everyone comes into a relationship probably with different debt, especially if they've had student loans and stuff like that.
What's something you notice with couples when it comes to these money conversations, Caleb?
Yeah, well, the one thing I've noticed is it's hard to have that honest conversation, about what money is. And, often there's a visible shift, when we do have it. And again, a lot of times when we're talking with clients, especially when it is more about their whole plan, not just only the investment piece, but their financial planning, like we talk about, you can a lot of find times, what are the goals? A lot of times there is overlapping, but couples will kind of find out from that process, oh, I didn't know you wanted to do that, or I didn't know you thought about it like that and stuff too. So, a lot of times when you do and kind of start breaking down that barrier, it is easier to relax. It's easier to talk about it the second, the third, the fourth, fifth time around. And sometimes, you'll hear them say, I didn't know you felt that way or thought that way or wanted to do that, again, from planning goals. But a lot of times it's, just feeling like gives them an opportunity to be heard.
Yeah.
Like a lot of NAR meetings, we ask both husband and wife, like, what are your thoughts from a risk perspective in that regard from your investments? If you both have retirement accounts, a lot of couples have different risk tolerances.
Completely different.
Yeah. So for us, that's a good conversation starter. How do you think about risk in that? And, usually couples will answer differently, but then it kind of spreads from there. But couples who commit to kind of doing that or talking about that, again, it kind of brings some order to the financial lives, because like Denise maybe like this, doesn't matter what income level, money causes stress.
Yeah.
Whether you're living paycheck to paycheck or, you think you got enough, there's still things that pop up that are stress, either for both couples or like one, too. So, and just like the planning process, progress is what you're aiming for, not perfection.
Perfection doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Progress over perfection.
Yeah.
The other thing that happens, not so much with younger couples, but with what I call the sandwich generation, you could have parents that maybe are having some financial issues and they need help financially. You can have kids that are having financial troubles and you want to help them out financially. And that's another conversation that you need to be sure to have with your spouse before you just offer that help up. And we see a lot of people who get into that situation where maybe their parents can't pay their bills or their kids can't pay their bills, and we're going to help them out, we're going to cash this out, and we're going to do this. And maybe the other spouse doesn't know that they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, those are all very difficult things that need to be discussed,
Yes.
and those can create a lot of tension.
Yes.
Or you help one kid out, now do we got to help the other 2, 3
Right.
equally at the same time?
And how do you divide those
Yeah.
expenses? That's the other thing.
Part of our conversation, having a mature conversation, talking about it, tamping down the emotions. But I know as a guy, I want to win the conversation.
So does your wife.
So Denise, how do we keep this on a good level, healthy level? How do we do that?
I'm going to just say this because this is notorious Dan Miller. Do not talk to me about this at 8:30 at night, okay? I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. I do not want to have an in-depth conversation about anything at 8:30 or 9:30 or 10:30 at night. And you've got to choose the right time. Now, if you're both night owls and
Yes.
you're both up till 2 o'clock in the morning and 8:30 is fine. But Denise Miller is not up late at night, so
Yes.
don't talk to me about this at 8:30 at night. You have to choose the right time that both of you are alert and calm and able to have these kind of conversations. And focus on your shared goal, because no matter what, no matter if one spouse is a spender and one spouse is a saver, you both ultimately have the same goals or you wouldn't be together, I guess.
Right.
And so focus on those goals. Focus on where you want to be, not where you are today, and how you want to get to where you want to be.